Oh,
Oh, look at those guys.
welcome back to This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zdora of Century 21 LeMac Realty, the Z Team, 870-405-0793. Retiredtoarkansas.net is our website. Check them out. And with me this morning is Mr. Bob Zdora himself.
Morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm good.
Been a long week for you, I guess.
It has been. It's been some challenges.
Some travel here, travel there.
Yeah. Put some miles on.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's what happens.
It does. Life, like I talk about it all the time. Life happens for people, and you adjust, you move on, and you hope for good things.
Blessed are the flexible, for they don't get bent out of shape.
That's true. That is very true. Very true.
Yeah.
But it's been. Linda was busy while I was gone, so that's a good thing. I'm always appreciative of that. And so business is still occurring. People are still buying and selling homes. It's been what has been a seller's market isn't quite as much of a seller's market, and we're seeing that in the number of price reductions and things like that, people becoming a little more realistic. We're seeing it actually, when I was getting the numbers together for the show last night, the number of the list price and what it sold for. And we're seeing that, 85% of them would always be asking price and things like that. And we're seeing that number tipping down. Some people, got to be a little more realistic because the rates are down this week. I've got a thing from First Security that they were 6.9 some. They were down below 7 again. So that's a good thing. And we'll see what happens going forward. That would be a good thing. And that 7, I think, just really scared the bejesus out of everybody. And price-wise, it affects your payment so much. Mm-hmm. And it's double what it was a year ago. So it's a pretty short window for things to have changed that much for people.
Yeah.
But
It puts the skids on a lot of things.
Sure. And it affects everything because it affects car loans and, credit cards and things like that. And coming into the holidays, people think, well, are we going to be prepared for this? What are we going to do? While life goes on, the realities of life kick in as well, and the groceries and coming into Thanksgiving, things like that.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
But if the interest rate is 6.95, let's just say, and that's what a first-time home buyer goes out, and that's what they get as their interest rate. That's what they're going to know. That's going to be their norm.
Right.
Unlike folks like you and I, that we saw the 10s, 12s, 13s, 14s, and then when it got down to 2s, 3s, and 4s, we thought, well,
it's free money. And I used to say that all the time and hear it on the radio. You're getting money at 3-4%. That's free money.
right.
And really, it kind of was.
But it wasn't reality.
But it wasn't. Well, there was a
was
cost
reality
to it
for
what
our
I'm saying.
time.
Right.
Right. But now the
But
change.
they just thought that was the ceiling. That was where it's supposed to be.
Right. But now we've got some change in it at 6.5, 6.9,
Oh, yeah.
even 7. It's back to what some people our age or maybe a little bit younger will say that's reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. But along with the interest rate changing, going down, the home prices went up, which made people think, gee, what are we doing here?
Right,
You
and
know?
that was the disconnect. The prices, because there was such a demand, because of the rates where they were, that people couldn't get. That people were buying homes and buying more home than they were ever able to think of affording before, and that made a big difference because of the lower interest rates. They were able to do that. That's really what forced those prices up. More people got into the market because the money was there and they were able to get it. But they had to be able to perform. They had to be able to show that they could do it. This isn't like 08, 09, when if you could fog a mirror, they gave you a mortgage. That's not like that now. And I don't foresee a huge number of foreclosures coming into the market. Most of the people that are in these houses, I think over 85% of the homes are mortgaged at less than 5%. So that's a good indicator. I was talking to my sister in my journey over the past couple of days, and she says, I get this little notice from Schwab every day on my account explaining, what it's done, and look at this, and there's a whole bunch of reds on there and this and that. I said, yeah, but Carol, I said, you haven't lost that money until you sell something.
Right.
So you've got more than enough time to be able to recover from that. And that's what I think we're going to see the same thing in the housing market. People they're just kind of locked in. We're going to stay here. We're not going to go. Mm-hmm. What that does, though, is it forces the number of homes that are available. It's supply and demand. There's still more demand. There's still more people trying to buy those homes, and that's what's keeping the prices up, because there's still they feel they can hold out, and somebody's going to come and pay them.
And quite frankly, we live in a desirable area.
Oh, we do. There's no question about that, Bob. We are truly in God's country, and we see that. Every morning when we wake up, when you go to the Walmart and people are friendly and everything else. I mean, we've got the school system, the system that we have for the veterans, all the things that we have here. We are blessed to be here, and that's so people want to come here. We get inquiries, and they don't believe you. The taxes and stuff. I was talking to people in Illinois, and the taxes that they're paying, it's kind of mind-numbing, the numbers that they're. Now, granted, they're making more money, but they're spending it a lot. They're not and believe me, they are not happier than we are here. Mm-hmm. I had told, I'd gone back to the United Center after I'd been gone for a couple of years, and I told one of the guys, I told him, I said, Kenny, I says, I'll live 10 more years down there than if I stayed here. And not just 10 years, 10 good years down there.
You'll live.
I'll live those 10 extra years.
Not just exist.
Exactly. And people find that. They come down and they find that, and that's what brings them here. It's a different pace of life. It's not for everybody, but for those of us that have adapted and gone forward, it's darn nice.
You had to adjust, but the adjustment's worth it.
Sure. So
take a look at some numbers real quick, then I've got a question for you.
Okie dokie. So that means you're going to want an answer.
I am.
So I should really stretch this out for a long time then.
Yeah, because if you run us out of time, that's your only hope.
This week in real estate, there were 37 new listings came on the market, 5 commercial properties, 11 parcels of land, 21 homes came on the market. They range in price from $475,000 to $45,000. Average price coming on the market this week was $204,000. There were 35 sales. 1 commercial property, 15 parcels of land, 19 homes sold. They range in price from $46,000 to $515,000. The average sale price this week was $170,000 with 79 days on market. So we're still, it's stuff comes up and it goes right under. A total of $3.2 million in residential real estate closed this past week. 9 properties expired. 27 had price changes going back to, as we were talking before. Currently 258 homes on MLS. It was like 264 last week, so that fell a little bit. Year to date, for 2022, there's been 1,064 homes have sold for $234 million. The average sale price this year is $219,000 with 79 days on market. Last year, there had been 1,155 homes that sold for $231 million. The average sale price was $200,000 with 90 days on market. The average sale price is coming up for last year as we were coming into the end of the year. But there's almost 100 more homes last year to this year. It was a little nutsy. but that had a lot to do with people. There was a lot of talk of inflation towards the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And people were saying, we better get ahead of this.
Yeah, if we're going to do it, we need to do it now.
And it's still not a bad business model to have. It's still not a bad thing to look at. If we're going to do this, we need to do it now, because you don't know what's going to be ahead. And life happens, and people have babies, they get married, they do all the things that do. There's sickness that comes up. There's joyous things that come up, and you want to be in a home. People that have been renting. One way or another, you're buying a home. Now, whether you're buying the landlord's home or you're buying your own home, that's kind of up to you and how you want to live your life.
Whose name's going to be on the deed?
Exactly. And the tax benefits and everything else, and be able to do what you want to do.
I've heard in past, you mentioned that Linda is a certified stager.
Yes.
How important is it for someone to stage their home, not only on the inside, but on the outside? Curb appeal means a lot.
Curb appeal.
especially this time of the year
Sure.
when you've got leaves everywhere. And
Exactly, Bob. And that's so important to get in there, get those leaves blown off, have somebody come out, break them, have mulch them, whatever it is they're going to do. Get the leaves out of the gutters and things like that. You want, when you pull up to the house, you want people to go ooh, not ooh. And that curb appeal, that's your first shot. It's so important. Get the debris up, get the stuff put away. It's Christmas. I know Christmas, the holidays are going to be coming up. That's different. But just leaving the wheelbarrow there and the old tires are over there. Get that stuff picked up. You're going to be moving. If you've made it that far, you're going to be moving. So get the stuff packed up, get it put away. Makes a big difference. The curb appeals, that's your first impression. I've pulled up in the driveways with people and had them just say, no. It's like, if it looks like this, I don't even want to see what it looks like inside. And I tell them when we get in the car, I said, look, I don't own any of these houses that we're going to look at. You cannot hurt my feelings. If you don't want to go in, we don't have to go in. There's no reason to waste time. If you pull up and you go, this isn't your house, okay, next.
Yep.
And you go on. We're not on a treasure hunt. This isn't to see how many houses we can see in how many hours. If you like it, great. That's we hope. We want you to like it, and it's up to those that are selling. Need to keep that up. They need to touch up the paint and clean up the things. And maybe if you did have something painted and the paint's still on the glass around the door, those are little things, but those are the things that people see. They look because your eye and your eye, when you go any place, your eye naturally picks up the unusual. What's wrong with this picture? And those are the kind of, it's little stuff. But get the twigs and the sticks all picked up, and leaves are pretty much done now between the rain and the wind. Get them picked up, get ready for people to showing this, they can come and see your house. And the same thing on the inside. With there being a stager on the inside, being listed is a full-time job, because you don't know when that when that agent's going to call and say, we want a showing, and your potential buyer's walking in the door. You get up in the morning, you got to make sure that the sinks are clean. You get all the toothpaste and all the soap out of the sinks. Get the dishes, even if they're washed and you got them stacked up in there, at least they're neat and clean. You can't leave dirty dishes laying around. Make the bed. All little things like that all add up, because when people come through, you don't want to be distracted. And we're big on, getting depersonalizing the house. You're going to be moving. Get the stuff packed up. You can put it in boxes, put it in the garage. That's fine. People worry about, what am I going to do with all this stuff? Put it in boxes in the garage. You're taking it with you. Generally, people are going to downsize. Generally, people that have been looking at other houses and then they have another house, their stuff isn't necessarily going to fit in there. And especially if they're leaving, when you take the cost of moving, it's not inexpensive to do. So these are the kind of things that we do to help people that want to come on the market, ways that we help them. That's what we do all day, every day.
And be sure you're ready.
Oh, yeah, you got to be ready. You got to be ready, because like I say, 79 days, that's from the time that the sign got pounded in the lawn till the time it's
The
sold.
checks exchange hands.
Yeah. So that's nothing. You got to know where you're going to go. We talk about knowing what plan B is. Where are you going to go? Have you looked at the market there? You can pick up some nice deals in some of these other places right now, because some of those markets have fallen 20, 25%. That's a lot from where they were. Now, they were artificially high. You got to kind of understand it. Those who bought up there, if you're going to stay in that house for 10 years, you're going to be fine. Barring something really bizarre happening. But you're going to be fine. And you got to live someplace. That's the big thing, So you want to be comfortable. You want to be where you want to be. If you want to be with the grandkids, you want to get away from the grandkids, whatever the case may be, you want to be prepared for that.
How do they get you?
Give my honey a call. That's how you get me. Call my honey, 870-405-0793. The website's retiredtoarkansas.net. We've got all the MLSs on our website, so you can take a look. If you're thinking about coming on the market, you want to kind of see what does our neighborhood look like? What does our kind of house look like? How many of them are on the market? Because that's going to affect your price point as well. That's all on there. Take a look at our presentation of what we do for our homes. Linda does a great job, and the past couple that we've put on have been gone within a couple days. You know, and it's right. It's a matter of presentation, price. That's the big thing right now. And you want to go, we can help make you go. But give her a call, 870-405-0793.
And that's been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zdora from the Z Team, Century 21 LeMac Realty in Mountain Home. We'll be back with Friday Sports in just a moment.
Go Bombers.